Yes. Testing. Yes. 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 Testing. Hello. Hello. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Yes. Testing. Test. 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 Testing. Yes. Yes. Hello. Testing. Hello. Test. Testing. Hello. Testing. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Test. Testing. Hello. Test. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Yes. Testing. Hello. Testing. 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 1, 2, 3. Hello. 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 Yes. Hello. Test. Hello, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Testing. Hello. Test. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Testing. Test. Testing.
Oh, mati ka ni.
Hello. Testing. Testing. Hello. Testing. 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 Hello. Test. Testing. Testing. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. Testing. Percubaan. Testing. Percubaan suara. Testing. Hello. Testing. Test.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The program will begin shortly. Please be seated, and we kindly request that you switch your phone to silent mode to avoid interruption. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Also, we would like to welcome everyone to visit the mute poster presentation via the link which will be shared later. Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. صباح الخير، صباح المسرات والخيرات والبركات، وأهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم في هذا المؤتمر الدولي، المؤتمر الدولي الخامس حول اللغات والتربية والتعليم والسياحة الذي تنظمه كلية اللغات والإدارة للجامعة الإسلامية العالمية بماليزيا. السيدات والسادة الأفاضل، الحضور الكريم، سنبدأ جلستنا بعد قليل رجاء تحويل هواتفكم إلى الوضع الصامت كفادية أي تشويش. شكرا على تعاونكم. أيضا بإمكانكم الاطلاع على ملصق العروض عبر الرابط الذي سيرسل لكم قريبا إن شاء الله. فأهلا وسهلا بكم في هذا المؤتمر.
Kita tertutup kan? Tak boleh.
Session is the program. This session also is it available in Zoom?
The Philippines Zoom.
So you can see
Yeah, so
all the outsiders.
this mic is for the Zoom. So actually, when we I on this microphone, so literally they will hear in the Zoom also.
Announcing the arrival of Honorable Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Honorable Rector of IIUM, accompanied by Dean of Kuliah of Languages and Management. Please rise.
يسرنا أن نعلن لكم وصول سعادة مدير الجامعة الإسلامية العالمية بماليزيا فخر البروفيسور ذوالكفلي عبد الرزاق مرفوقا بعميد كلية اللغات والإدارة الأستاذ المشارك الدكتور محمد أزرول الدين عبد الحميد. رجاءنا الوقوف تحية وتقديرا لهم.
Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, Negaraku, and IIUM song.
ونطلب منكم مشكورين أن تظلوا واقفين للاستماع للنشيد الوطني الماليزي ثم نشيد الجامعة الإسلامية العالمية بماليزيا.
Let's lead the way, lighten the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of Islam. Revelation and reason shall excel, shall prevail. Merging faith and knowledge, we the Khalifa, we will fulfill the amanah. Together, we make the world a better place forever. expand the culture of Iclet. IUN is to realize the meaning of Rahmatan lil Alamin. Together we make the world a better place forever. Expand the culture of Iclet. IUN is to realize the meaning of mercy to all the world for all mankind.
Thank you. Please be seated.
شكرا لكم. تفضلوا بالجلوس.
His Royal Highness, the Regent of Perlis Crown Prince, Tuanku Said Faizuddin Putra, Ibni Tuanku Said Syarjuddin Jamalullah, Yang Berbahagia, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector, International Islamic University Malaysia, Wan Sri Masrah Haji Abidin, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Azrul Azlin Abdul Hamid, Dean, Kuliah of Languages and Management, Mr. Huzaimi Amir bin Zainuddin, Director, Development Division, Section Special Project, HPTP, Pago Higher Education Hub, Ministry of Higher Education, Professor Dr. Vijaya Lechemi Subramaniam, Faculty of Modern Languages and Communication, University Putra Malaysia, Dr. Aidrina Muhammad Sofiadin, Deputy Director, Innovation, Office of Knowledge for Change and Advancement, Encik Ahmad Yasir bin Hashim, Domestic Manager, BH Travel Sendirian Berhad, Representative from Kuliah, UTHM, UPM, and PPD MUA.
صاحب السمو الملكي ولي عهد ولاية بيرليس الأمير سيد فائز الدين بوترا ابن سيد سراج الدين جمال الليل. الفاضل سعادة مدير الجامعة الإسلامية العالمية بماليزيا كونسلي بروفيسور ذوالفقار عبد الرزاق. الفاضلة الدكتورة أيدرينا محمد صفي الدين نائب مدير قسم المعرفة للتغيير والتقدم. الفاضل الأستاذ المشارك الدكتور محمد عزرول أزلين عبد الحميد عميد كلية اللغات والإدارة وكل الشخصيات المهمة الحاضرة معنا. ضيوفنا الأفاضل الكرام أيها السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته ومرحبا بكم.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Let us start our session with Kitab Al-Fatiha.
كعادتنا دائما في مثل هذه المناسبات نستهل جلستنا بالتبرك بتلاوة سورة الفاتحة.
Welcome to the International Conference of Languages, Education and Tourism, Iclet 2023. My name is Noor Arina binti Bahtia and I will be the MC for today's session.
مرحبا بكم في هذا الحدث الكبير المؤتمر الدولي الخامس حول اللغات والتربية والتعليم والسياحة 2023. اسمي خالد الشطيبي ويشرفني أن أكون مقدم فقرات هذا الحفل الافتتاحي مع الأخت أرينا.
Ladies and gentlemen, this conference is collaboratively executed together with the Jamalullah Chair, Kuliah of Languages and Management, Kuliah of Education, and the Center for Languages and Pre-University Academic Development. It provides an encompassing avenue for languages, education, tourism, and hospitality experts, academicians, practitioners, students, and the general research communities to converge and share various matters and studies concerning these areas.
السيدات والسادة الحضور الكريم، ينظم هذا المؤتمر بتعاون بين مكتب كرسي جمال الليل وكلية اللغات والإدارة وكلية التربية ومركز اللغات والتطوير الأكاديمي قبل الدراسة في الجامعة. هذا المؤتمر منصة سانحة للخبراء والأكاديميين والباحثين والفاعلين في ميادين اللغات والتربية والتعليم والسياحة لتبادل الخبرات والمعارف والدراسات والبحوث في هذه المجالات.
In order to get barakah, I have the pleasure to call upon Dr. Muhammad Al-Ramadhin to recite the dua. Tafaddal mashkura.
ولأن الدعاء سلاح المؤمن فما أحوجنا إليه، ولذلك نتوجه إلى الباري عز وجل مع أخينا الدكتور محمد خليل الرمادين في هذه النفحات المباركة، إنه تبارك وتعالى مجيب الدعاء. تفضل دكتور مشكورا.
شكرا. السلام عليكم. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور، لا يحصي عدد نعمه العادون ولا يؤدي حق شكره المجتهدون، ولا يبلغ مدى عظمته الواصفون. بديع السماوات والأرض، وإذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. نحمده على الآلاء ونشكره على النعماء، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده الأمين ورسوله المكين، ختم الله به النبيين وأرسله إلى الخلق أجمعين بلسان عربي مبين، فبلغ الرسالة وأوضح الدلالة وأظهر المقالة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة، فصلى الله على محمد سيد المرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين. اللهم يا كريم يا رحمن يا رحيم. Please Allah grant His Royal Highnesses the Regent of Perlis Crown Prince Tuanku Sayyid Faizuddin Potra Ibn Sayyid Sirajuddin Jamalul Layl the strength to continue serving the people, the nation and the religion. Ya Allah, guide his steps toward what you love and accept. Allahumma ya Rahman ya Rahim, make our country a place of blessing, peace and wealth that will last forever. Allahumma ya Rahman ya Rahim, give us the patience to overcome all the obstacles, accept our efforts and honor us appropriately. Allahumma ya Rahman ya Rahim, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah, and lead our beloved International Islamic University Malaysia to grandeur, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the next. Make us intellectuals who take responsibility. Grant us important knowledge that will benefit mankind in order for us to earn your mardatillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make us your upright servants who obey your orders and disregard sinful activities. Please accept our apologies for our error. اللهم وفق صاحب السمو الملكي ولي عهد برليس الأمير توانكو سيد فائز الدين بوترا ابن توانكو سراج الدين جمال الليل، وأعنه واكتب له الأجر والثواب والصحة والعافية. اللهم وفقه وسدد خطاه لما تحب وترضى، واجعله مفتاحا للخير مغلاقا للشر، آمرا بالمعروف ناهيا عن المنكر. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا بما ينفعنا وزدنا علما وبارك لنا فيه. اللهم افتح لنا أبواب حكمتك واكتب لنا من رحمتك، وامنن علينا بالحفظ والفهم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم، أكرمنا بجودة الحفظ وسرعة الفهم، وارزقنا الحكمة والمعرفة والعلم والحلم. اللهم نور بالكتاب بصرنا، واشرح به صدرنا، واستعمل به بدننا، وأطلق به لساننا، وقو به عزائمنا بحولك وقوتك، فإنه لا حول ولا قوة إلا بك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
اللهم آمين. بارك الله فيكم.
Thank you, Doctor. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I have a great pleasure to invite Yang Berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Azra Azlin Abdul Hamid, Dean of KLM, to deliver a welcoming remark. Please welcome.
ضيوفنا الكرام، أيها السيدات والسادة، يسعدنا دعوة الفاضل الأستاذ المتهيئ الدكتور محمد أزرول أزلين عبد الحميد، عميد كلية اللغات والإدارة، لإلقاء كلمة الافتتاح الترحيبية. مرحبا بكم.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Rina and Dr. Khalid. Duli Yang Maha Mulia, Pemangku Raja Perlis, Tuanku Syed Faizuddin Putra, Ibni Tuanku Syed Sirajuddin Jamalullah. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Rector International Islamic University Malaysia, Profesor Dr. Wijaya Lechmi Subramaniam, Faculty of Modern Languages and Communication, Universiti Putra Malaysia, Encik Huzaimi Amir bin Zainuddin, Director Section Projek Khas Hub Pendidikan Tinggi Pago, Dr. Adrina Muhammad Safiuddin, Deputy Director, Office of Knowledge for Change and Advancements, representative from IUM, UTHM, UTM, PTSN Pago, and PPD More. Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera. With utmost delight and sense of pride, I extend a heartfelt and warm welcome to each individual gracing the International Conference of Languages, Education and Tourism, Iclet 2023. As the chair of the momentous event, I stand humbled to witness the convergence of brilliant minds, united in the pursuit of knowledge and innovative solutions to address the pressing global challenges of our time. This year's conference theme, Diversity and Transformation in Language, Education and Tourism Towards a Sustainable Society, resonates profoundly with the core values cherished by our institution. It urges us to collectively embrace the richness of diversity while acknowledging the transformative power of languages, education, and tourism in shaping a sustainable society for future generations. In our quest for knowledge, let us not underestimate the impact each of us can make in shaping the future. As academics, researchers, educators, and industry professionals, your insights, research, and experiences form the very bedrock of progress. It is within the diversity of your expertise that we find innovative solutions and novel approaches to confront the challenges of our era. We extend our sincere gratitude to Duli Yang Maha Mulia, Pemangku Raja Perlis, Tuanku Syed Faizuddin, Putra Ibni Tuanku Syed Sirajuddin Jamalullah, for his unwavering support, which has been invaluable to the resounding success of this conference. Despite being unable to join us in person today, Tuanku graciously took the time and effort to deliver his inspiring speech for our opening ceremony. Can we give him a big round of applause? His thoughtful gesture added a significant touch of honor and encouragement to the event. We are deeply honored and appreciative of Tuanku's involvement and presence in spirit. Menjunjung kasih Tuanku. Additionally, I would like to deeply appreciate my esteemed mentor, my boss, in sustainability, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Zulkifli Abdul Razak, for his exceptional leadership and unwavering guidance throughout our journey. His encouragement and assistance have played a great role in making this event a resounding achievement. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank our esteemed keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Noel Scott, Professor Dr. Wijaya Lechmi Subramaniam, Associate Professor Dr. Siti Nur Fazilah Muhammad Nur, Professor Dr. Abdul Jalil Hanush, and Professor Dr. Gavin Brown. Your scholarly contributions and commitment to positive change are truly commendable, and I am confident that your words will ignite a renewed sense of purpose and dedication to our respective fields. To all delegates, especially those joining us from Japan, Greece, Indonesia, India, Algeria, Oman, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Uzbekistan, a warm and enthusiastic welcome awaits you. Furthermore, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors, Majlis Agama Islam dan Adat Istiadat Melayu Perlis, BH Travel Sendirian Berhad, Sasbadi Sendirian Berhad, and other sponsors whose generous support has played a great role in making this event a resounding success. Gratitude must also be expressed to the organizing committee. Can we give them a big round of applause? Whose unwavering dedication and tireless efforts have brought this conference to fruition. Their pursuit of excellence is evident in crafting a program that features distinguished keynote speakers from across the globe. As we delve into the discussions and deliberations over the upcoming days, let us embrace the spirit of collaboration, open dialogue, and critical inquiry. Together, let us seize the opportunity to forge new partnerships, cultivate enduring friendships, and solutions that will pave the way towards a sustainable society. In conclusion, I am confident that Iclet 2023 will prove to be an intellectually stimulating and personally enriching experience for all participants. May this conference serve as a catalyst for transformation and progress as we collectively strive to create a world where diversity is celebrated and sustainability lies at the heart of our endeavors. Thank you all for your presence and active participation. I extend my best wishes for a fruitful and rewarding conference. Let us embark on this journey with passion and a shared commitment to shaping a brighter future for our global community. Thank you again and all the best.
Thank you, Dr. Azrul.
جزيل الشكر لكم السيد العميد.
Next, I would like to invite the Honorable Rector to deliver his insightful speech. Honorable Rector, the stage is yours.
والآن يطيب لنا ببالغ السرور دعوة القائد سعادة مدير الجامعة الإسلامية العالمية بماليزيا لإلقاء خطابه التنويري التوجيهي. تقدروا مذكورين تنصيب.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu syafil anbiya mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Greeting of peace to everybody, in particular Duli Yang Maha Mulia Pemangku Raja Perlis Tuanku Syed Faizuddin Putra Ibni Tuanku Syed Sirajuddin Jamalulail, Professor Vijayalakshmi Subramaniam from UPM, Saudara Uzaimi Amir Zainuddin, Director Development Division, Pagoh Higher Education Hub, Ministry of Higher Education, my colleague, Professor Azrul Azlin, Dean of the Kuliah of Languages and Management, Dr. Adriana Muhammad Sofiadin, Deputy Director of KCA, IIUM, fellow colleagues, brothers and sisters. Let me first of all thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to meet, particularly in this campus, the youngest of our campus that we are very fond of, because they are very far from Kuala Lumpur and I seldom come to this campus, once in a while on occasions like this, just to find out what they've been doing, and I think they've been doing exceedingly well in the context of what they are doing. A particular example is this one here. This conference is entitled on diversity, what was it? Diversity and transformation in language, education and tourism towards a sustainable development or sustainable society. A theme that I think it is very, very apt for many reasons. Yeah? One of the reasons that I can recall is this university is also known as a garden of knowledge and virtue for those of you who have been here maybe for the first time, apart from the IIUM, which is the standard name of this university. I think this idea of a garden as a university is something which is very noble, which is something also which is very creative, because it represents exactly what we are trying to do. It represents diversity. When you talk about a garden, you cannot run away from the idea that it has to be diverse. A garden that is not diverse will not be a garden. It could be a plantation, perhaps. Yeah? Rubber plantation, palm oil plantation, everything. It looks like a garden, but only one species, and that is not what the university is all about. Oftentimes, we talk about university as a very homogeneous kind of an institution. We forgot that university must be diverse. And diversity is the strength of the university, because that is where I think knowledge accumulates and knowledge get integrated. And therefore, this university wants to visualize itself as a place where we celebrate ideas, as mentioned by the Dean, celebrate diversity in terms of opinions, and even in terms of disagreement. We need to disagree. Malaysia is a place where everybody needs to comply. When the minister say A, then everybody will say A. When the minister jump, everybody say how high. We sometimes need to ask, why do we need to jump? IIUM may not need to jump. Somebody else wants to jump, fine. But we don't want to jump because we do not know why we need to jump. And if we need to jump, how high do we need to jump? We sometimes may want to jump in a different way. So this diversity is what I think we are beginning to lose in terms of education, particularly when education is seen as a one-size-fits-all. And this is where I come to the whole idea of ranking a university that puts you in a box of 5 or 6 criteria, and you need to conform to these 5 or 6 criteria to be, quote unquote, a world-class university. And many of us have bought into this. And therefore, this diversity that we talked about out of the box is not happening. And the university begin to suffer from time to time. And I'm indeed very glad that the present Minister of Higher Education has taken a position that ranking is not something we are obsessed in. You want to be ranked, that's fine, but we are not going to be obsessed with. In other words, we are not going to change our university structure or our mission and vision because we want to fit into somebody else's box and to be ranked as such. And this is, I think, a very important note that we need to take on as far as this topic of diversity is concerned. A garden must be diverse. You have a range of plants from the smallest to the highest, a range of species, and all this, I think, will make what a garden looks like. A good garden, maybe a Kew garden in London, will be fantastic if you go into it and you can see species that you have not seen before. And we want our university to be in that sense, right? But the diversity of a garden alone cannot live without the diversity of languages. That's another issue. I think Professor Vijayalakshmi will probably help me in this. Yeah, that this language that we've got now, I think there are about 7,000 languages around the world, including indigenous languages. And we know now from some study, by the end of this century, this 7,000 languages will probably be reduced to less than 1,000. Many of these languages will die along because it has no, quote unquote, economic viability. Languages are seen now, if you can earn money out of this, and this is where tourism comes in, then that language will flourish. If there's no economic value with it, then nobody wants to speak the language, and therefore the language eventually will die. And the death of a language is the death of wisdom of knowledge. One word, for example, just take the word Sejahtera. I'm familiar with this, yeah? If you take the word Sejahtera, which we are trying to champion in this university, because it has a whole lot of meaning, you cannot translate the Sejahtera into any other languages. It cannot be in English. In English, people will say Sejahtera as well-being. But Sejahtera has got 9 other meanings apart from well-being, apart from prosperity. And the moment Sejahtera do not exist anymore, then you end up with one-dimensional idea of what happiness or whatever that Sejata would represent. So you lose a whole, not only language, but the cultural dimension attached to it, and the whole civilizational understanding of what that language is all about. And therefore, education in that sense becomes more inward looking. Yeah. And to a certain extent, if we go and extend it further, it becomes another form of colonialism, that we need to speak English all the time, despite the inadequacy of the English language, to understand many of the other things that other cultures and other civilizations are bringing to the table. So all these are interconnected, and I'm very happy. That's why I come here today. I'm very happy to make sure that all these get connected so that we understand what the university is all about, and therefore it becomes the responsibility of the university to ensure diversity in all its dimensions. Language, education must be there. You cannot make this into something which is homogeneous because somebody else says so, without understanding what education is all about. And why do you need these languages? And why do we need this diversity? Because at the end of the day, it answers the question of what humanity is all about. We need to talk to each other. We need to dialogue with one another to understand your values and to say where you're coming from. And that's what the beauty of humanity is all about. We learned this through the hard way when we were faced with the pandemic. You know, you cannot cry help only in English. In other languages, when you cry for help, people don't understand. What is he trying to talk about? Because you don't understand the language. Yeah. And when people are in dire needs, therefore, this whole idea of intercultural dialogue, the understanding of where you come from, how do you sympathize with them? How do you empathize with them? How you are passionate with them is basically about understanding with one another. When you talk about the pandemic, it doesn't matter who you are anymore. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what culture you are from. It's everybody in the same boat of the planet Earth. And unless this boat afloat, then everybody will float together. If this boat sinks, then everybody will sink. It's not as though America will, will be floating and all will be sinking. Everybody will sink at the same time. And how do you get this to be placed together is through understanding with one another. And that's why this university, I think, since two years ago, has made it mandatory for all of our students to move away from the classroom. Every student in the first year, for your information, will have to be engaged with the community. They have to profess a kind of project that they will present to the university at the end of the first 2 semesters. That they are taught how to do community profiling, how to do community assessment, how to do community sort of solution for the community once they know what the problem of the community is all about. And their world of education is beyond just this classroom. If they want to understand what poverty is all about, they need to go down to the villages to understand what poverty is all about. Not sitting in an air-conditioned room like this, read a book and understand the 5 factors of poverty, and yet you have not seen, let alone immerse yourself into what poverty is all about. So that sympathy and empathy becomes a real thing to you. So that when we talk about poverty, you really know what the suffering is all about. And this is what the Ramadan for us. But Ramadan needs to be every day now, because poverty becomes so rampant around the world that you cannot make it seasonal. It has to be an everyday life that you begin to think about it. How do you actually go and help people who are least fortunate compared to us in this university? So it's a whole gamut of things that I hope you will consider. Of course, tourism is the end point. But tourism also, I've got problems with it, because tourism now is also contextualized in terms of economy. Why do you want to come to Malaysia? Because you want to see certain things. Yeah, and I know some tourism will come, look at the what you call the Petronas Twin Tower, stand in front of it, take a few photographs, and off they go. And they will show their friends. I've been to Malaysia, and this is me in the Petronas Tower. What is the Petronas Tower is all about? Sometimes you ask, what tower is it? I'm not too sure. You know, the whole idea is just to show you where you are, but not understanding the whole ecosystem of what this country is all about. Not understanding what the ecosystem of the place you visit in, I was fortunately, in one of the places that maybe most of you will not want to go, the eastern island somewhere off Chile, where there is this big, what do you call, heads, that is assembled around the island, and people go there just to take pictures with this big headstone, and then they moved off. They don't understand why the headstone is there. They don't understand how it is moved from place to place. They don't understand why it is made that way. And all this other culture dimension that is attached to it. And this is what I think tourism has been reduced to. All of us will go to these places just to take pictures and go back. Rather than keeping the pictures in your memory, you just keep it in your handphones or whatever it is, and then forget about it. And therefore, education is missed. The whole idea of language is missed, and everything else that's associated with humanity as such is gone. So all this, I think, needs to be relooked. And I really do hope there is a time for this conference to revise and to revisit so that education is brought back to its real meaning of what diversity, what language, what education, and what tourism is all about. This kuliah, I have been told, will change its name very soon, and I applaud that. We were discussing in Senate, we want to rename this kuliah as a kuliah of sustainable tourism and contemporary language, rather than language and management. Does not sound quite right. So tourism is a core business of this university, and therefore all that is attached to it must be put in a framework that all of us can understand as far as education is concerned. And in fact, the university itself can be a place for edu-tourism, that you not only come to the university to study, but also to understand the other dimension, as I've mentioned, the civilization, the values, and so on and so forth. For that, I want to put on record in the last session where we brought forth the projects I was telling you, where the students are working with the community. I think we've got a symposium that was done in various campuses, including this campus. And I think the reception was tremendously warm by many people who have visited us, including the juries. We took juries from different sectors, different expertise, and different experience, just to tell us how are we doing as far as understanding community, as far as understanding tourism is concerned. And I remember some of them give you prizes, from 300 to 500 for the best sort of presentation. And I think that is education. For me, that is education. Education is to immerse yourself in the community, understanding from the community, not only from textbook. Textbook sometimes is written by somebody else. They have not even visited your place, and you read the textbook as though it's gospel truth, when you have not even visited the place very close to you. We want you to immerse yourself in the community and learn from the community. And this is what we get at the end of the day. The students come back to me and say, Tan Sri, 3 days in the community is better than 3 years in the university. Why? Because we don't have any textbook to refer. We learn from the community itself, the very original tacit knowledge that they have got, which is not written in the textbook. We begin to build relationship with them, begin to understand how relevant is our culture in the context of education. We begin to have confidence that we have got some role to play as students, not just to receive information, but also to garner and produce information. Indeed they did. From what they learned, some of the lecturers don't even know on this because they have not been to where the students have been. And these are the whole area that I hope we need to explore when it comes to this kind of a conference. So I cannot but register my delightfulness of being here in the context of what you are doing. And certainly this university is also very keen in leading what we call sustainable development. Sustainable development to me is another word for equity, for justice, for fairness. It is marked in many other languages of climate change and energy saving and so on. Those are just the processes too. But you have climate change and the world is still not fair, it's still not just, and it's still not equitable. Then let's have the climate crisis anyway. Yeah. If you're talking about saving energy, but yet 60% of the population are still not having energy in this country, then let's have it anyway, because we are not sustainable. And therefore, sustainability means how do you connect as many dots as possible? The 17 sustainable goals that is presented to us by United Nations. Number 4 is certainly education. If you attempt education as a quality, a sustainable sort of project, then you need to answer how does sustainability number 4 answer to the question of poverty. How do you solve the problem of poverty? How do education solve the problem of cleanliness, which is goal number 3? How do you talk about equitable gender equity, which is goal number 6? How do you talk about peace and harmony, which is sustainable goal number 16? How do you talk about number 17, which is about partnership? So all this needs to be connected. So another, from your education, you can connect as many dots as possible, meaning your education is relevant. If you just have number 4 and poverty is still there, cleanliness is still a problem, we are still fighting with one another as we are doing today. When the elections are coming, you can see, all these big guns are fighting with one another, and yet they want to talk about Madani. How contradictory are all this? And we're talking about partnership, and yet you have all this diversiveness among us. What kind of education are we trying to bring across? And the university must not pretend that you are doing a good work, but actually, in reality, we are not delivering what we are supposed to deliver. We are here is as a body that talks about a leveler of society. I believe education is about a leveler of society. It doesn't really matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what creed and what belief you are. At the end of the day, all of us with education must be able to break out of poverty. I am one of those people. I came from a kampong a long time ago, right? I'm given this opportunity and I'm able to break out of poverty, and I want to stay out of poverty. And I'm sure that my kids and my, next generation will be out of poverty. But if education brings you into poverty, which is the case now, we have got gaji 3,000, stay in Kuala Lumpur, you're already urban poor. In my case, I moved out of poverty. My daughter go into poverty because she stayed in Kuala Lumpur. We still need to give them money to rent houses. So what sort of education is this? So these are the big questions that people in the ministry, I hope Kuzaimi will bring back to the minister. If you don't do that, then education is a failure. And we keep on harping about education, quality education, and blah, blah, blah. But education is a failure on that score alone. Because education must level everybody up. It doesn't really matter who you come from, where you come from. The poorer you are, the more insistent that you must have that you will be the one that will bring your community out of poverty. And therefore, Malaysia at that particular time can call itself being sustainable. If you go into this rut, then we are not sustainable, and this whole idea of sustainable development becomes just another fuss, another political slogan, perhaps, but has no meaning to us. So our task today, I'm sorry, is more than just what you're talking about. I hope you'll bring back these messages. I hope we can work together. I hope we can redesign what education looks like for the future, given the many experiences that we have for the pandemic in one way or another. Let me end up by reading some of these things that I've missed out. We would like to express our deepest appreciation to Duli Yang Maha Mulia, Pemangku Raja Perlis, Tuanku Syed Syazuddin Putra Ibni Tuanku Syed Sirajuddin Jamalulail, for his unwavering support, indeed so, and has been instrumental in making this conference a resounding success. And I do believe that he is a person who understands what tourism and what you call culture is all about. Although he's unable to attend this event today in person, Tuanku has graciously devoted time and effort to deliver a speech that all of us will be inspired after this opening, during this opening ceremony. This is also an act of an honor, and to motivate this event, we are genuinely humbled and appreciative to Tuanku's enthusiastic participation and the virtual problem. Menjunjung kasih Tuanku. As mentioned by the Dean, I would like to thank everybody, particularly the sponsors and particularly the Kuliah of Education and CELPET coming together in trying to make this conference what it is today. And certainly the keynote speakers for your experience and expertise and wisdom that we look forward to learn from, so that we become more inspired, become more convinced that we are supposed to do something which is fruitful as far as the community is concerned. Last but not least, my gratitude to the organizing committee and the sponsors for their hard work and support and bringing this conference to fruition despite the pandemic break for about 2 years ago. As we commence this conference, it is imperative that we capitalize on the occasion and partake in productive dialogues, as I've mentioned, shared ideas, be as diverse as possible, and establish a significant link so that we can continue to work together and enriching with one another, learning from each other. Particular UPM, I think, has got a different experience in terms of extension studies and so on and so forth. And also to envisage at the end of the day, Malaysia will be a sustainable community, will be a just and a fair community, will be a community that is balanced and in harmony with the world around us. So on that note, let's implore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings and the hidayah, and also the courage to make some changes. Sometimes we talk so much where we have no courage to make the changes. Yeah? It's time for us to stand up and be counted and make the statement that we need to make so that we can improve our lifestyle moving forward. So wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Rector, for that insightful speech.
جزيل الشكر سعادة مدير الجامعة على هذا الخطاب التوجيهي التنويري.
We will proceed with the royal officiating speech by His Royal Highness, the Regent of Perlis Crown Prince Tuanku Said Faizuddin Ibni Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Jamalullah. Since Tuanku can't be with us physically, let's take a look at this short video.
ببالغ البهجة والاعتزاز والاقتدار ندعوكم إلى متابعة الخطاب الملكي السامي لصاحب السمو الملكي ولي عهد ولاية بيرليس الأمير سيد فايز الدين بودرة ابن سيد سراج الدين جمال العين. الخطاب سيبث على الشاشة.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Raja berdaulat, rakyat berilmu, negeri sejahtera, Perlis maju. Alhamdulillah, I praise Allah Azza wa Jalla for the blessing of bringing us together on this precious morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude, congratulations and appreciation to all presenters and participants of the International Conference on Language, Education and Tourism 2023. Theme: Diversity and Transformation of Language, Education and Tourism towards Sustainable Communities. In this era, we all have a role to play in creating resilient and credible communities to achieve a quality life. The contributions of knowledge and expertise from scientists, such as academicians, researchers, industry practitioners, as well as students, are needed for the advancement of society and the nation. This is also important for the sustainability of intellectual growth. Therefore, we need to work together to realize this aspiration by pooling our efforts and expertise. Furthermore, I hope that the International Islamic University, Malaysia, IIUM, and the organizing committee of the conference will be able to achieve another success, initiating the Krusi Jamalullah through this conference. I also hope that the discussion and debates conducted by the presenters will raise awareness among the public about the importance of understanding and appreciating the diversity of knowledge, research, and debates. In promoting Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, higher education institutions play a crucial role in education towards sustainable development to produce a generation capable of ensuring a balanced achievement of economic, social, and environmental development. Sustainable development also encompasses the sustainability of language and culture, and quality education in developing first-class mentalities and contribution to the development of advanced nations, as well as tourism industries that promote economic growth and meet the needs of the current generation without sacrificing the needs of future generations. We can achieve these goals through discussions, research, and conferences that focus on the strategies and challenges faced in implementing community and national development. Finally, to end this speech, I hereby inaugurate the International Conference on Language, Education, and Tourism 2023. I pray that all conference participants receive blessings and guidance from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Now, let us watch a gimmick video. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Azrul Azlin, Dean of KLM, to the stage to present a small token of appreciation to our Honorable Trans-Director. Please welcome.
الحضور الكريم نرحب بالأستاذ الدكتور حميد الكلية مع مدير الجامعة في المنصة لتقديم هدايا تقديرية للمتحدثين الرئيسيين الحاضرين معنا في هذا المؤتمر. هذه التقديرية من كلية اللغات والتجارة لمدير الجامعة. ما شاء الله تبارك الله. شكرا لكم.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite all attendees to join us for a very quick photo session.
أيها الحضور الكريم تفضلوا لأخذ صور تذكارية.
So please gather at the center of the hall for a very quick photo session.
لكي تكون الصورة جماعية في مركز المدرج في الوسط.
So all attendees, please stand up for our photography session.
هيا انضموا. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oke, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bisa. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So you learn tadi mana makan?
Lepas ni nak bagi makan kat VIP. Tapi saya tak nak sampai.
Ya.
Announcement.
Okay, thank you. So here are some announcements to all. To all our VIPs, you may proceed to the PG room for light breakfast, and washroom is located at the back of the hall. And all participants are reminded to join us back in this hall at 11 a.m. So we will have a break now, and we will come back at 11 a.m. for the main agenda of the conference.
الآن فضل استراحة. نأخذ الفطور للضيوف المهمين ثم استراحة ونعود قبل الساعة 11 لاستئناف برنامج اليوم إن شاء الله. مرحب بكل الضيوف الكرام القادمين من الجزائر ومن الهند